Heyo, welcome back to the Undrafted and Unqualified Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Anthony, back by myself this week, so hopefully a quick episode again. Vinny's unfortunately pretty sick, so he'll be back for next week. Don't worry, he'll be back. But yeah, for this week it'll just be me again. With that said, I wish Vinny was here. We had a tough battle in our league this week. I beat him 179 to 175. So it was a shootout. And I was down about 50 heading into Sunday night. CMC dropped me 39. I'm down 17-ish going into Monday. Rashad White only got him 8. So JSN came in clutch, 26 points. I got the dub, got the dub. Wish I could talk to him, but hey, it is what it is. Went out and made a trade in that league today too. Desperate for an RB2 with Vidal being that guy for me. So I ended up trading Rome, and Henderson, who we'll talk about later. And I traded him for Jordan Mason to be the two. It's not the best, but it's the biggest upgrade I could have gotten, and Waddle. So I feel like Waddle's not too much of a downgrade from Rome, and really that position of need with Mason, but. Yeah, been an exciting week. I won my other league too, so I'm 5-2, top of both of those leagues. You love to see it. You love to see it. Hopefully Vinny's doing well with his dynasty pods. In our league, he's towards the bottom, but his team looks pretty solid. I can't even lie. I mean, he put up 175 this week, second highest on the week. I just ended up scoring four more. So yeah. Anyways, let's get right into it. Some news to cover this week. We'll start off with the injuries as usual. Jaden Daniels dealing with the hamstring, so there's a good chance he misses this week. Just keep an eye on it. It's a Monday night, so be ready to flex. Have another option ready to go. Hopefully, you'll have more clarity before the weekend, but get some insurance just in case. Brian Thomas Jr. dealing with a shoulder injury, and we saw Travis Hunter kind of take over because he didn't play a full snap share. Brian Thomas, I'm talking about. So Travis Hunter looked great in his replacement. If BTJ were to miss time, I don't think he will, but if he were to, yeah, Hunter's startable. Hunter's startable. But they have the bye week, so they can take their time getting things back together. Bryce Young will be out probably 2 to 4 weeks at least, ankle sprain, so not great. But Andy Dalton, he's shown to keep the offense afloat. So I think you should fire up everybody. Tet, Rico. I think those guys are still in play. Chuba, I'm a little more hesitant. I like Rico more, but yeah, Andy Dalton should be fine. Kendre Miller done for the year. I believe it was ACL. So Kamara back to a three down back. Looks like he's not going to get traded either. So fire him up week in, week out. Hasn't been the best year for him, but I'm expecting good things to come. Darren Waller, pec injury that we don't know the severity, but pec's not usually good, so keep an eye on that. Michael Penix, banged up. He's listed as day to day, so just keep an eye on it. Cole Kmet got hurt. Colston Loveland. If Kmet's to miss time, Loveland could be in play, maybe pick him up. And Dontavian Wicks got hurt, so yeah, it doesn't matter too much. But those are the injuries for the week. The other news we want to talk about is Justin Fields. Justin Fields was pulled. He couldn't get anything going against the Panthers, so he was pulled. We might see Tyrod Taylor in the future, and if that's the case, I I mean, maybe it's an upgrade for the guys. I guess Mason Taylor's an upgrade. I guess Garrett Wilson gets an upgrade. So yeah, just keep an eye on it. And we'll see what happens there. But yeah, that's kind of the news for the week. Pretty quick. So let's just hop right into the recap for the week. Let me pull up the first game. So Thursday night, my game picks this week. This was the only one I got wrong. I had a great week of picking who's the winners of each game. I almost went Bengals too, but I took the Steelers. They didn't get it done. Anyways, Rodgers looked pretty solid. Jalen Warren looked great on the ground. He had a good week. Pat Fryermuth, he was electric. 5 for 1, 11 and 2. I I would probably stay away from it. I think it's bait more than anything. It was just kind of a shootout, and that was the situation. Like Johnny Smith also caught a touchdown. Darnell Washington also caught a touchdown. So all three tight ends ended up scoring. Um, DK Metcalf, it was underwhelming. But yeah, Warren looks like the guy again. He looks great on the ground. I'd be excited to have him as an RB2 rest of season. As for the Bengals, Flacco's looked great so far. Battle line, but he's looked pretty damn good. Chase Brown had his best rushing game of the season. Yeah, Jamar Chase went crazy. It was like 38 points or something like that. 16 for 161 and one. T had a good game, 6 for 96 and one. No Fant got in the end zone. Um, yeah, as for Chase Brown, I think like I said 2 weeks ago when Flacco was announced, or the trade was announced, I think Flacco's going to be a big boost for the offense as a whole. But Chase Brown, I think, is going to struggle a little bit still, and we've seen that continuing on here. He had another like 11 points this week, I believe. So nothing crazy. Yeah, Jamar, he's back to a wide receiver one, top five overall. And yeah, Flacco's worth owning too if you have the space for him. So yeah, super exciting there. Let's get into the next game. Patriots Titans. Drake May looked unbelievable. 21 for 23. He's just doing well, okay? So Drake May, I hope you drafted him late. He was almost a my guy for me. Almost. I ended up going Dak instead, who's also been awesome. But yeah, Drake May's been really fun for fantasy. Stephon Diggs was the one again, 7 for 69, leaving the team in receptions and targets. Kayshon Boutte got in the end zone again. Ramondre got in the end zone. Ramondre, let's talk about it. Ramondre, 18 for 88 and one. He was a true three down back, and Terrell Jennings and Travion Henderson each had 14% of snaps. Terrell Jennings actually outcarried him 5-2. So Henderson is it's rough. Like as I mentioned, I traded him away today. Like he's borderline droppable. Things could come together towards the end of the season, but if you can't like wait and hold on to him, it's a little nerve-wracking. It's a little rough. Drake May did work on the ground, but Stevenson looks like an RB2 right now. He's getting the work, three down work, and this offense looks good. So it's not the Patriots of last year where you're like, I don't want a piece of that offense. This is a team you want a piece of. So Diggs, May, and Ramondre right now. As for the Titans, Cam Ward's still rough. 5 carries for Spears, six for Pollard. Not great. Pollard did work through the air though, 6 for 43, led the team in targets and receptions. Um, yeah, not a great game for Aya Manor. Not a great game for some of these guys. Chimere DK, I think that's how you say his name. Rookie receiver for them, 4 for 70 and a touchdown. So he had a good game. He was the bright spot of the offense, but. Yeah, he's a bait in my opinion. I don't even think he's worth owning. I don't think he's worth picking up. Yeah, the Titans continue to be disappointing. Don't want a piece of that offense in fantasy this year. Rams, Jaguars, London game. Matt Stafford, 5 touchdowns. He looked great. I think he threw 3 1-yard touchdowns to Devontae Adams. So Devontae 5 for 35, but 3 touchdowns is great. 8 targets. He looked great. Yeah, Jordan Whittington did nothing. Kyron had a solid day, but he split carries with Corum. I think it was kind of just because they were blowing out the Jags. Like they really didn't need to do much. So underwhelming day for Kyron, but fire him up moving forward. Back end RB1, honestly. Trevor Lawrence looked okay. ETN, they just weren't up, and it was game script. He didn't do much. He had 8 carries. Through the air, he only had 1 for 11. So it was really underwhelming again, yet again. Brian Thomas, underwhelming, 3 for 31. They keep throwing to Parker Washington, 4 for 52 on 10 targets. But really, Travis Hunter, finally, breakout game, 8 for 101 and a touchdown on 14 targets. Like that's big time. Travis has been increasing in his snap count, moving like for the last few weeks. So I think this is a full-time player now. As I said, if BTJ misses time, fire him up, fire him up. I think this guy could be a wide receiver too if this is the output he's getting right now. So yeah, he was droppable about 1 to 2 weeks ago, and now it's like he must be owned everywhere. So yeah, I'd maybe be a little patient with him too. Maybe after the bye, wait a game before you play him, but I'd be excited for what's to come with Travis Hunter, right? Number 2 overall pick. They've traded a haul to go get him too, so they're gonna utilize him. Let's go to the next game. Chiefs and Raiders. Gino continues to look terrible. 10 for 16, 67 yards. Genti only had 6 carries. Like game script was just awful. I would chalk this up as just a brutal game overall. Trey Tucker went 5 for 33, looked okay. But yeah, this was just a bad game for the Raiders. They were down the whole game, 31-0. They lost, so they could not get anything going. And the Chiefs just dominated time of possession too. So. Yeah, chalk that up. Genti should be fine. I think Trey Tucker, it's promising for him moving forward to see what he can do. But Yeah, Mahomes still, he's the number one quarterback in fantasy. He looked great again. Rashi Rice is back, 7 for 42, 2 touchdowns on 10 targets. Yeah, he's the one in this offense right away. I think, in my opinion, Worthy's kind of the two and Kelsey's the three. Kelsey and Rashi Rice are both short yardage guys. So now that Rice is back, he's taking that from Kelsey. So I think Worthy's still going to be pretty good. I know people are really worried about it. I think he's still going to be pretty solid. So I wouldn't worry too much about Worthy. But Rice, fire him up. Wide receiver one rest of the season easily. With the way this offense has been running with Mahomes throwing and Mahomes looking amazing, fire him up. I said Pacheco was a buy low last week. He got in the end zone on 15 carries. I know Brashard Smith got 14 carries, but it was garbage time. They were up big. They won 31-0, right? So I think you can just kind of chalk that up. Like, don't worry about that, really. Pacheco, though, he looks like he's got the roll back, and we'll see how it shapes up to be moving forward. Next game, we got the Browns and Dolphins. Tua looked terrible. Achane was fine. Waddle didn't do much. He went 1 for 15. Malik Washington went 5 for 30 on 8 targets. I wouldn't read too much into this game. The weather was terrible. The Browns blew him out. Judkins went crazy. 25 for 84 and 3 on the ground. Fannin, he was my start of the week. 4 for 36. He led through the air. So it's nice to see that the pace was there. I think he's still fine to own. He should be owned. And you can look for better days ahead for Fannin, especially if Njoku continues to miss time. But yeah, I mean, the weather in this game really screwed the passing game as a whole. So we saw Achane have a pretty efficient day on the ground too. So yeah, don't worry about that one too much. But big win for the Browns. Moving forward, we got the Panthers and Jets. Bryce Young was okay. Leggett, it wasn't Tet. As I mentioned, fade him. So I hit on that sit of the week. Again, I'm 2 for 2 on Tet, so that's awesome to see. But yeah, Leggett went 9 for 92 and 1 on 11 targets. He had a hell of a day. So this was the situation where Sauce is shadowing Tet and then go to the second guy. So that's what they did. Leggett, he's worth owning. Like you could roster him, throw him on the bench, just see if anything happens with Dalton. We can't play him yet though. As for the running backs, with Chuba back, he had 14 for 31 and Rico had 17 for 79. So they're both getting work. They each had a couple targets. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be a split moving forward. I think Rico's got the juice, though. Rico looked better. I think they're going to lean 1A, 1B in favor of Rico. So I'm in on Rico. I was telling my buddy, like, don't panic with him. I think he's going to be pretty good. Um, so yeah, that's the situation there. The Jets, it was bad, right? They ended up pulling Fields for Tyrod Taylor. Brees Hall didn't look good, 11 for 38. I mean, Mason Taylor couldn't even get anything going. Josh Reynolds led with 9 targets, 3 for 29, but they really need Garrett Wilson back. This team's terrible. 0-7. Sucks to see. Brees Hall could get traded. We'll see. Yeah, not much to like from fantasy on that team. Bears Saints, Bears got it done. As for the Saints, Rattler was okay. 3 picks. It wasn't a good showing for him today or this week. Kendra got hurt and then Kamara got all the work. It was 11 for 28, so it wasn't great. He had a bad day for fantasy, but he will be a 3 down back moving forward. So I think you should fire him up as an RB2 at least moving forward. Olave, the touchdowns finally came. 5 for 98 and 2. Huge week for him. So we've talked about Olave as a buy low on the pod before. So, I think that window's closed now because he dropped like 26. So he went crazy. Olave is going to be great rest of season. Rashid Shaheed, 4 for 40 on 9 targets, not bad. I think he's worth owning too. Juwan had a bounce back, 5 for 79 on 7 targets. You could own him. I dropped him in a league last week. I'm just not waiting around on it. But yeah, you could own him if you need him. You could spot start him. So yeah, nice to see that from Juwan back this week. As for the Bears, my start of the week, Caleb Williams was atrocious, for fantasy at least. And it was like 5 points on the day. He'll be fine. He'll be just fine. DeAndre Swift, 19 for 124 and a touchdown. Kyle Monongai, 13 for 81 and a touchdown. They both looked really good on the ground. they were splitting snaps a little bit. So Monangai is worth owning. Swift is playable, startable. You have to start him actually. He's a must start at the moment. So yeah, I mean Swift's been awesome this year. It's crazy to see. Maybe it's Ben Johnson, but yeah, Swift's been really good. Roman Dunze, another really underwhelming game, 2 for 31 on 6 targets. He led the team in targets. DJ Moore went 3 for 43 on 5 targets. Loveland 3 for 24. I think Odunze is going to be just fine. He's a buy low right now. I know I sold him in a trade today, but he's very much so a buy low. So I would go ahead and go get him if you can. They have some nice matchups on the schedule coming up. They're past their buy already. So yeah, I would look to go get a Dunze. Better days are ahead. And yeah, I think Loveland you could pick up too if you need to. Eagles, Vikings. Let me pull this up here. Eagles got it done. Jalen Hurts looked way better today. 19 for 23, 326 yards, 3 touchdowns. Devontae Smith, 9 for 183 and a touchdown on 11 targets. AJ Brown, 4 for 121 and 2 touchdowns on 6 targets. They went back to funneling through those two guys and it worked. It worked really well. Saquon, 18 for 44. It was not efficient. Only one catch for -2 yards. Another underwhelming day for Saquon. I think he's a buy low. I'm not expecting like RB 2, 3 numbers as he did last year. I'm expecting probably 10 to 12 right now, RB 8 to 12, something in that back end RB1. But I think he's a buy low. I think we just have to trust the talent and this team will figure it out. Devontae Smith, it was an electric day. AJ Brown, like I think it's just going to be up and downs all season long for these two. It's really hard to know what they're going to do, but yeah, I mean Goddard, uh, yeah, bad day for him as the tight end one on the season before that. So yeah, be patient and understand that this offense looks like it's changing week in, week out. So it's going to be a lot of ups and downs for owning these players and starting these players, but you're going to get those booms like we've seen, especially in the this week with Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. Vikings, Wentz was meh. Jordan Addison went crazy, 9 for 128 on 12 targets. Jettas went 5 for 79 on 10 targets. Hawkinson went 6 for 43 on 9 targets. So a good day for the three of them. Yeah, it was Jordan Addison who looked great. I think that's super exciting. Hopefully, Wentz can provide one more week of value before McCarthy comes back. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, Jordan Mason had a solid day on the ground, 15 for 57 and 1. Nothing through the air, but he got in the end zone. He continues to do so. So yeah, as for Mason, right, I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried that I just traded for him because Aaron Jones is coming back. But I think who was it that I mentioned earlier? I forget who it was that I mentioned earlier, but I mentioned some running back earlier where it's like a little bit worrisome of the situation. I think Mason can get in the end zone. I think Mason's gonna be the guy, regardless. So yeah, I'm trying to think of who I wanted to make a connection here, but maybe Pacheco. Maybe that's who I was thinking of, like similar to Pacheco. Like there's a floor, there's a steady floor. I don't know. Anyways, Jordan Mason, I think there's a floor. There's something to be said about this guy. I think Aaron Jones coming back soon is worrisome for his total ceiling, but I think he's still going to be the 1A moving forward. Like he's shown enough. So yeah, I'm trying not to press the panic button, but yeah, we will see moving forward. Oh, no, it was the Panthers. That's who I was thinking of with Chuba and Rico. I think people are panicking on Rico because Chuba came back. I think Rico's going to be the 1A. It's the same situation with Jordan Mason. People are panicking on Jordan Mason, even myself, even after just trading for him. But I think Jordan Mason's going to be just fine. It's not going to be great every week, but he'll be just fine. The Colts, the best team in the league right now, 6-1, beat the Chargers. Daniel Jones looked great again. He's awesome. I don't know where it came from, but he's great. Jonathan Taylor, he's inevitable. 16 for 94, 3 touchdowns again. He's right behind CMC. He's awesome. Jonathan Taylor, yeah, hopefully you drafted one of those two guys. I mean, we're back in 2021 again, so Alec Pierce, 5 for 98 on 10 targets, which was wow. Michael Pittman, 7 for 58 and a touchdown on 9 targets. Tyler Warren, 4 for 69 and a touchdown on 5 targets. They're gonna keep running these three man focused offenses. So whatever it's going to be, I mean, it was Pittman and Warren getting in the end zone, but they clearly went to Pierce a lot too, and it worked. This team looks good. If I want anybody in this offense of the receivers, it's Pittman, but I think Pierce and Downs are worth owning too. I wouldn't fire them up every week, but they're worth owning with how well this offense has played. Chargers, Justin Herbert looked pretty good again. It was a gross day for the running backs. Kamani Vidal, 9 for 20. Haskins only had 1 carry. But it's clear Vidal's the guy. They were just down the whole game. It seemed game script dependent. But as for the receivers, Herbert is supporting a lot. Aronde Gadsden, 7 for 164 and a touchdown on 9 targets as a rookie tight end. He went crazy. And yeah, priority ad. I'll talk about it again in waivers, but geez, priority ad. Get Gadsden. Keenan went 11 for 119 and a touchdown on 14 targets. Unreal day. Ladd went 9 for 67 on 15 targets. Really solid day. Quinton was underwhelming, 2 for 30 and a touchdown on 6 targets. It was coming back from injury, but he got in the end zone too. So it's, you know, it's crazy how well that Justin Herbert's supporting 4 guys right now. But that's the case. I think it's going to be a lot of ups and downs. Clearly, the down this week was Quinton. Luckily, he got in the end zone, so his day was saved a little bit. But yeah, I mean, some of these guys are going to boom every week, as we saw with Gadsden and Keenan, just unreal numbers. So, yeah, I'm excited to see this team continue moving forward. They're playing on Thursday this week, so that'll be an interesting one against the Vikings. We'll see if Herbert can do the same thing. The most interesting game of the week was the Giants and Broncos. The Giants, Jackson Dart looked awesome. I mean, first of all, before we get into that, what a brutal blow. And what a brutal loss the Giants took. I mean, they gave up 33 in the fourth and lost to the Broncos. That sucks. But yeah, Jackson Dart looked awesome. Cam Scatterbo looked great. I know Tracy got a rushing touchdown, but Scatterbo scored through the air. Wandale looks good in 12 targets, 6 for 95, 12 targets. So he looks good. Yeah, Dart's making this offense look good. It kind of reminds me a little bit now of honestly a little Jaden Daniels for fantasy purposes, right? Wandale, never that good. All of a sudden he's pretty solid without neighbors. Cam Scadaboo comes in, he's just a bowling ball and he's running over every defense and he's doing real well. And then, Jackson Dart's got the rushing upside himself. So he was awesome for fantasy and he was my sit of the week. And Denver defense is great. So yeah, this dude is legit. As for the Broncos, Bo Nix, I mean, I sat him in one league. Thankfully, I started Daniel Jones, so it wasn't the worst. But this dude dropped almost 40 points, 2 rushing touchdowns, crazy day passing. Yeah, Bo Nix, what a fourth quarter, dude. I was like, oh, great call. I'll sit him. He has 10 points, and then all of a sudden he has 40. So crazy. Dobbins still the guy, 14 for 81. Sutton 6 for 87 on 10 targets. You like to see that. Troy Franklin had 10 targets too. Only 3 for 19, got in the end zone, but 10 targets. Mims went 6 for 85 on 7 targets. Ingram had 8 targets. So, there was enough to go around this week. Sutton's still the guy. Love it. Franklin and Mims, they're part of the waivers. You could add both of them, stash them for now. But yeah, I mean, Broncos, what a win for them. What an exciting win, coming back all the way down in the fourth quarter. So that's cool. The Packers, Cardinals, Jordan Love was okay. He's not great for fantasy this year. He's not worth starting in any game. I know I had him as a start of the week against the Cowboys, and it was a good call. But outside of that, it hasn't been all that great. Jacobs looked good again. He got in the end zone twice, as usual. It's typical at this point. Romeo Dobbs, 6 for 72 on 8 targets. He's the one in this offense. You need to own him. If he's not owned in your league, you need to get him. I would consider him like a flex play right now if you have to, especially this is the bye Mageddon week. We're coming up 6 teams on bye. So A lot of teams going on by, but yeah, you could start him if you really need to next week. Tucker Kraft went 5 for 58 and a touchdown on 10 targets, so he was good this week. Kraft is not wide receiver, tight end six on the season. He looks good. The 10 targets you love to see too, especially for a tight end. So fire him up moving forward. Cardinals, Brissett holding his own for this team again. They lost, but still, it was a close game. Trey McBride, 10 for 74 and two touchdowns on 13 targets. Yeah, this dude is awesome. Brissett's best friend. As long as Brissett plays, Trey McBride should be the overall tight end one. And Marvin Harrison, underwhelming day again. Bam Knight is the lead back on this offense, but pretty gross to own either back, him or Michael Carter on this team. And I wouldn't really be excited to start Marv. Matchup based, Marv's like a wide receiver three maybe, but yeah, it sucks to see how underwhelming it's been for Marv this year. Next game, Cowboys blow out the Commanders. Jaden Daniels looked good until his injury. He got in the end zone on the ground too. Um, Bill Karofsky, really underwhelming. 13 for 33, another bust of a week back to back. So that one really sucks. Zach Ertz got in the end zone. Receiver wise, there wasn't much going on though. I mean, Zach Ertz was the leading guy, 3 for 37 and a touchdown on 7 targets. But yeah, I mean, really sad day for Bill. Ertz, nice to have a touchdown, but yeah, I worrisome, especially with Mariota maybe starting. I wouldn't be too excited to start any of these receivers except for Debo. I think Debo you can start. Hopefully he's healthy though and not going in with the questionable tag because with Debo, I don't know how I feel about that and Mariota at QB. They also get the Chiefs next week. Brutal matchup regardless. Cowboys, Dak looked amazing again. He's awesome. This offense is awesome. CeeDee Lamb back went 5 for 110 and a touchdown. Pickens went 4 for 82. Ferguson went 7 for 29 and two touchdowns. So all three of these guys are startable week in, week out. I mean, CD's back to a wide receiver one. Pickens, I'd say, is a wide receiver two. Jake Ferguson, top five guy. Javonte Williams, 19 for 116 and a touchdown. He looked good again. Um, yeah, I mean, you just love to see it. He had 4 targets, only one catch, so he's getting work through the air as well. So yeah, Javante's awesome too. I mean, this offense, start Dax, start CD, start Pickens, start Ferg, start Javante. Like there's five startable guys. So really exciting offense for fantasy football this year. Getting into Sunday night, San Fran they continue to win games with like their backups. So they beat the Falcons this week. The Falcons, Penix was okay. Bijan 14 for 40 on the ground, but he went 6 for 52 and a touchdown through the air on 8 targets. Pitts had 10 targets, went 7 for 62. Good day for Pitts. Drake London, 10 targets, only went 4 for 42. A little underwhelming day for Drake London. I think London's going to be fine. It feels like this is a funnel offense. Everything's going through Bijan and London, and this also just happened to be a Pitts day. So yeah, Pitts, there's going to be games you can start them for sure. London and Bijan, you should start every week. Niners, Mac Jones, it was a bad day for Mac Jones, but McCaffrey went 24 for 129 and two touchdowns and 7 for 72 through the air on 8 targets. This dude is insane. This dude is absolutely insane. 39 points. He let me beat Vinny this week. So you love that. Yeah, Juwan Jennings was the next guy up, 4 for 31, 7 targets. Kittle, nothing, literally nothing in his first game back. Go buy low. This is the cheapest you'll get Kittle, and he will be a focal point of this offense. I would be shocked if this continues. The Falcons defense is actually good though. And we talked about it last week. This defense is good. So we need to keep that in mind when playing guys against the Falcons. I mean, Christian McCaffrey's an anomaly, but yeah, I mean, Juwan, it was an underwhelming day too. So yeah, keep that in mind. I think you got to go get Kittle right now. You have to go get Kittle. Lions Buccaneers on Monday night. The Lions took care of business. Baker did not have a great game. Rashad White was getting all the work, but it was only 10 carries for 38 yards. He had 4 for 6 through the air. Cade Otton went 7 for 65 through the air. Tez Johnson 4 for 58 and one. Egbuka went 4 for 58 on 12 targets. Egbuka was questionable. I'm shocked he played. but he played and he got 12 targets. He's going to be just fine. 9 points too is not the worst in the world. He's going to be just fine. Tez Johnson with the touchdown. I think he's worth a pickup. Mike Evans went down. I didn't mention that in the news. Mike Evans injury. That's brutal. And we'll get to another one in the next game. I forgot to mention in the news too, but Mike Evans is probably done for the year. So there goes the 1,000 yard streak. So that really sucks. But Tez Johnson's worth picking up now because of that, and so is Cade Otton. And yeah, and we'll wait to see on Bucky's status, but start Rashad White as long as he's out. He's getting everything. I mean everything. This was a tough matchup against the Lions, but he's getting everything. Sterling Shepard had 7 targets. He went 7 for 25, but yeah, it seems like he's like fourth in the pecking order. Jared Goff looked pretty solid. Jahmyr Gibbs, though, what a day. 17 for 136 and 2 touchdowns. 3 for 82 through the air. That was awesome. David Montgomery, 13 for 21 on the ground. So it was underwhelming, but he got carries. Bucks have a good run defense too. So not the easiest. Jahmyr Gibbs diced him up, but hey, I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs can do that when he's Sonic. So Amon-Ra, 6 for 86 and a touchdown on 10 targets. Everything went through him. The next guys had like the next highest targets. There were a bunch of guys who had 3. So yeah, Amon-Ra's the funnel. JMO had 2 targets and nothing. Jameson Williams, man, it's been really, really frustrating to own him in fantasy this year. People are like, oh, he's back. He's led the team in targets last week. He scored. He looked good. 0 this week. So he's going to be very volatile. He's a flex play at best moving forward. People are going to want to drop him. I wouldn't because most of the guys on waivers are like Troy Franklin. So I mean, Jameson's better than them. You just have to be ready for the most true boom bust player in the league. All right, one more game. So yeah, it was Seahawks Texans. The news I forgot to mention is Nico Collins. Nico Collins got a concussion, so who knows if he'll be cleared for next week. That keep an eye on that. You will probably have to flex who you're playing and find something else. So that's a little worrisome. Um, as for the team as a whole, Stroud looked pretty mid. Yeah, not a great day, but. Woody Marks is out carrying Chubb again, 10 for 15. So it was a really bad day on the ground, but 10 for 15. He got 3 for 20 through the air with a touchdown. So he salvaged his day for sure. And yeah, Nico only went 4 for 27, but he got 10 targets before going out. So if he's healthy, fire him up. He's a wide receiver one rest of the season. Jalen Noel, he stepped up in the absence, 4 for 77, but Dalton Schultz was the real story on 10 targets, 9 for 98. So it looks like Schultz might be the guy for Stroud moving forward if Nico Collins is to miss any time. So keep that in mind. Schultz might be worth picking up if you're desperate at tight end. As for the Seahawks, Darnold, it was not great for fantasy. Um, JSN, though, unbelievable. 8 for 123 and a touchdown on 14 targets. Got me my win against Vinny. He's the wide receiver one in fantasy football right now. It's ridiculous. He's an absolute stud. Running, Charbonnet got more snaps. Charbonnet got 2 touchdowns, 12 for 49 on the ground compared to Ken Walker, 17 for 66. Neither one of them got anything through. Oh, sorry. Charbonnet got stuff through the air, 2 for 6 on 2 targets. Walker got nothing. So really, it's a really disappointing day for Walker. Charbonnet is the vulture. Charbonnet is the goal line guy. So that's what they're doing. That's what this team is doing, and that's what it's going to be. So don't expect much from Walker unless he breaks free. But Charbonnet, if they get to the goal line, it's going to Charbonnet. So yeah, Ken Walker getting less snaps, and I don't know why they don't utilize him more, but they're just not, and we have to go off of that. So he's an RB3 maybe, RB3 maybe rest of season. He's probably an RB3. Yeah, I don't think we can consider him an RB2 moving forward, but that'll do it for the recap. Let me pull up what's next. So yeah, that's the weekly recap. We got some ambulance or something going by outside. Let's hit the waivers. So We'll go running backs first. The priority is Kyle Monangai. I mentioned he's splitting snaps almost with DeAndre Swift, and he scored. He had a good day. So Monangai should be owned. Maybe not startable, but should be owned in every league. Algier is a great backup if anything were to happen to Bijan. Isaiah Davis for the Jets. I mean, Brees is in crazy trade talks, so that's a thing. Bam Knight, I mean, he's the starter for the Cardinals, so pick him up. Spears is, he continues to split work with Pollard. Brashard Smith, he could be nice if they liked what they saw out of him. As for receivers, there's not a true priority ad here, so I'll just list some guys off. Josh Downs, Tez Johnson without Mike Evans, Darnell Mooney, Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, as I mentioned. Josh Reynolds, 9 targets. It wasn't pretty, but might be an upgrade with Tyrod being the QB. Booty, he's got to be owned. Alec Pierce, Jalen Coker's a stash if you want to. For the quarterbacks, priority, Jackson Dart. I think he's still under 50% owned. He's like matchup proof at this point. Sam Darnold can be picked up, and Joe Flacco looks good. Pick him up. As for tight end, the priorities Aronde Gadsden with the Chargers. I mean, over 160 yards and a touchdown. This dude looks like a receiver playing tight end. He's a beast. He needs to be picked up. Mason Taylor should be picked up. Cade Otton. Yeah, pick him up without Mike Evans. Isaiah Likely, I think you could stash, see what happens. Juwan Johnson, you could pick back up if you want to. Loveland, keep an eye on Komet. You could probably go get Loveland if you need to. AJ Barner, I still have on here. He had a bad day this week, but I think he could still be owned. As for drop candidates, the big one I think is Justin Fields. I think you can drop him, especially if Tyrod gets announced as a starter. Go ahead and drop Fields. You're not going to keep a backup on your team. But yeah, really, really disappointing for how good Fields was, and then all of a sudden he's droppable. Kareem Hunt's droppable. We talked about Bashard Smith being the second guy behind Pacheco, so you can drop Hunt. If you picked up Jordan Whittington without Puka, you can drop Whittington. Travion Henderson, I think, is droppable. I mean, 14% of snaps this week. Terrell Jennings had 14% of snaps too and outcarried him, like I said, 5-2. They're just not utilizing Travion right now. And if you need a spot, I'm okay with you dropping him. For the rookies, I'm okay with you holding him too if you have the space, but it feels so far from value to have Henderson on your team right now. So yeah, I think Henderson is droppable if you need to clear a spot. Chris Godwin, he's still droppable. Hassan Haskins is still droppable, and Michael Carter is still droppable. All guys mentioned last week. But yeah, that's the waivers. I would say just to reiterate, the priorities should be Kyle Monangai, Jackson Dart, and Rondé Gadsden. Those are my three priorities of the week. So go get those guys if you can. Trade targets. Let's talk last week because I know we hit big. I said to buy Lamar. I said to buy Likely. Both of those guys off buys, Stiller buys. Pacheco. Last week was the lowest buy window of all time. I said to go get him. Devontae Adams, I said to go get. Looks like he had a good week. So these guys pretty good. Pretty good on the buys for me. Sells. I said Fields. Perfect sell. Bam Knight, same thing. Hollywood and Goddard. Goddard, I said to sell at the right time. You will not get the same as what you got for last week. So I did pretty good on the buys and sells last week. Looks like we're improving there as a whole. As for Vinny, he said to buy Herbert. That was perfect timing. He said to buy Bill. I think you could still buy Bill. Adunze, you could still buy Adunze. Mason Taylor, you could still buy Mason Taylor. So he hit pretty well on these guys. Sell, he said Stroud. Great sell. Rashad White. That's with Bucky coming back. Maybe Lad, I think you could still sell him. I mean, 15 targets though, I'd maybe hold, but yeah, I'd understand it. And Waller, also a good call to sell him. I mean, the injury and then him just not getting that much work since the like 2 weeks. He was the first 2 weeks that he came back. So yeah, I think you could argue we both went 8 for 8 last week, maybe. But we have some more names for you this week. Vinny wrote some in as well that I will share with you guys. Um, yeah, let me hit the buys first. I'm saying go buy Caleb Williams. I think there's way better days ahead. People are going to panic after a 4-point outing against the Saints defense. I think you can go buy him for pretty cheap right now. Alvin Kamara, with Kendra being out, and Kamara's had a pretty underwhelming season. Some managers may still be open to trading him. So I'd try and go get Kamara before he pops off for a huge game. Drake London, the 10 targets are super encouraging. I'd go get Drake London. And Mason Taylor is my buy of the week. I think he's going to be good. He looks like the number one guy there, and you know, yeah, I just expect better days ahead. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much on Mason Taylor. Vinny's buys, he saying to buy Jaden Daniels. So okay, buy Jaden Daniels. Maybe people are panicking with the injury. I don't mind that. Go buy Breece Hall. He could very well get traded right now. He's in talks. I think that's not a bad idea as well. Waddle is his buy of the week. I like that. Waddle had a bad week, and I mentioned the weather being a big thing. So yeah, I like Waddle moving forward. I think Waddle's almost borderline like wide receiver one. I'd probably say high end wide receiver two rest of the season. So I like that call a lot. And he said Kincaid too for his tight end, which I like. I like too. He just had his bye week and he had been injured, so he should come back healthy. So yeah, I like that. Kincaid was the tight end two before getting injured and missing that week. So yeah, they're utilizing Kincaid. I like these. I like these buys. Um, as for the sells, I said sell Rodgers. I just don't think it'll stick. He had a very easy game against the Bengals, so there's a chance this could be a sell window. Um, Swift, he's my sell because he's splitting time with Monongai, but he looks great. I still think you can sell Swift and go get something better for him. You could probably upgrade big time right now with how he's been producing. For wide receiver, I didn't really have one. I'm saying Shamiri DK. I'm just saying sell him. I'm just not buying the hype. I wouldn't pick him up off waivers. And then Pat Freiermuth, my sell at tight end. He went crazy. It was like 5 for 111, 2 touchdowns, but it's still a three-man, like three-headed tight end room. So I'm selling Pat. This is the highest you'll get for him right now. Vinny sells. He's selling Flacco. Interesting. Um, I think there's good days to come with Flacco, but yeah, he had such a good game. I think this could be a good opportunity to sell him. And then the next three are all Vikings. Jordan Mason, Aaron Jones just got activated off of IR. Jordan Addison had a huge day. I think he's still going to be productive, but we're going to have JJ McCarthy possibly next week. And Hawkinson. Hawkinson had a decent day. Like this could be maybe, oh, his value's up a little bit more again. You can maybe, again, JJ McCarthy's about to come back. So I don't mind any of those sells, even though all three are Vikings. So yeah, those are our buys and sells for this week. Let's get into let's get into the starts and sits of the week. So last week we let's see. I said start Caleb Williams. That was a whiff. I said start Jalen Warren. That was a big hit. Start Devontae, kind of a cop out, but he hit big. I said to start Fannin. I missed on that one. Unfortunately, the weather cost a little bit. I said to sit Dart, big time miss. He's matchup proof. I think you can say that. I said to sit both Cardinals running backs. That was a good call. I said fade Tet, great call again. I hit on Tet again. I said to sit Hawkinson, and he was okay. So I went, you could say like 5 for 8-ish, something like that. That's not too bad. Vinny said to start Aaron Rodgers, great call. Start Vidal, he had a bad game. Start Matthew Golden, not great. Start Mason Taylor, also didn't have a great game. Uh, Rough start out of the starts for Vinny. As for the sits, Stroud, pretty good call. Sit Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason was fine, but it wasn't special, so I don't mind that. Bourne was a great call to sit, and Ingram was a pretty good sit call too. So he went around 4 for 8. That's pretty solid. 4, maybe 5 for 8 if you want to give Mason the hit on that one. So hey, we're doing pretty good overall with our start sits. So we'll get into it now. For this week. My start of the week at quarterback is Bo Nix versus the Dallas Cowboys. They are dead last against quarterbacks, and he just dropped 40. So I think Bo Nix is going to be really good. I mean, Jaden Daniels even had 18 before getting injured. So yeah, big day for Bo Nix incoming. I would be all over starting him. Vinny's starting Jackson Dart versus Philly. Yeah, he looked good against them 2 weeks ago. I like this call again. Buy Mageddon again. 6 teams on buy this upcoming week. So those six teams are the Raiders, Cardinals, Rams, Jaguars. Let me pull it up. I don't got Vinny here to talk while I'm doing this. So let's see. It is lovely slow Wi-Fi here we have. All right, Cardinals, Lions, Jaguars, Raiders, Rams, and Seahawks. So it's a big time week for buys. So yeah, I like Dart this week with six teams on bye. So yeah, Bo and Dart are your starting QBs for the week. At running back, I have Derrick Henry versus the Bears. Coming off of a bye week, fully healthy, Lamar should be back. I think this is a great matchup. I know Kamara didn't look great against them, but this has been a pretty soft matchup, a pretty good matchup for running backs so far this season. So I'm all in on Derrick Henry this week. Vinny is starting the other guy, DeAndre Swift versus the Ravens. So we got two guys of the same game. DeAndre Swift looks good, soft matchup. I would start Swift too. I was considering it myself for my start of the week, so I like that call. At receiver, I have Wandale versus Philly. He cooked them 2 weeks ago, so I'm expecting another big game for them. He's the go-to guy for Jackson Dart. So yeah, I like Wandale this week a lot. I think I'd be willing to start him again, especially because there's a lot of bye weeks. Um, teams on bye rather. And Vinny's got Odunze versus the Ravens. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about the last 2 weeks. I'd go fire up Odunze myself. I would have if I didn't trade him away. At tight end, I got Mason Taylor versus the Bengals. It's one of the worst, if not the worst matchup for or best matchup, sorry. It's the probably the best matchup for tight ends. I mean, we saw Pat Freiermuth, Jonnu Smith, and Darnell Washington get in the end zone against them last week, and Pat Freiermuth had 111 yards. So I'm expecting a huge bounce back for Mason Taylor. And Vinny's got Pitts versus the Dolphins. I mean, he was a focal point of the offense. The Dolphins are a soft defense. I like that start there as well. As for the sits, I'm sitting Justin Herbert. It's Minnesota defense on Thursday night. It's a tough matchup. This is a week where, with all the teams on bye, you could go ahead and start Herbert, and I wouldn't fault you. So he's more of a fade for me, but the Vikings have been super good. They've been a great defense, really good against quarterbacks. So he's a fade for me at the very least. Vinny is sitting Aaron Rodgers versus the Packers. Packers defense has been disgusting. So I like that call a lot. Running back sits. I'm sitting Warren versus the Packers, Jalen Warren. Jalen Warren had a great week. He was my start of the week last week. Had a soft defense to go against. Looked good. He's got a tough defense against the Packers this week. Vinny is sitting Bill versus the Chiefs, Bill Krosky. I like that call. He hasn't been good. Chiefs got a great defense. At receiver, I'm sitting Debo versus the Chiefs. Chiefs have a great defense. There's maybe no Jaden Daniels this week. Debo might not even play, but yeah, Debo is a sit because his own injury too. So Debo's a big time sit for me this week. Vinny's sitting Diggs versus Cleveland. Yeah, yeah, that it's not an easy matchup. So I don't mind that at all. I think you could be okay sitting Diggs. Again, bye weeks and everything. I think you could be fine flexing him as well. As for tight end, I'm sitting Waller versus the Falcons. They are the single best defense against tight ends. I mean, they held Kittle to 0 points. And Kittle is a top two, three tight end in the league, talent-wise. So yeah, I'm sitting Waller regardless of, I'm going to pick somebody up if I need to and playing him over Waller. Waller also the injury though, so he may not even play, but that is who I'm going with my sit of the week. And then Vinny is sitting TJ Hawkinson versus the Chargers. Pretty solid defense. I think it was just a good week for Hawkinson last week as well. So I'm okay with that call. But yeah, that will do it. There are start sits. We got through everything. Yeah, buy him again. Six teams this week. Best of luck. Wish you all the best in this week. I know some teams are struggling. They got a ton of guys on bye. So I hope you're not one of those teams. I know I only have one or two guys on each of my teams for the bye week. So we're looking okay. But yeah, best of luck this week. And we'll see y'all in the next episode. Peace.